Alright, and our runners are off now. So, gonna go into the weapon shop here. We are going to buy ourselves a hammer. We are going to do some menu configurations here. And then from that, we are going to use that hammer to glitch the knight's armor into our inventory. So this is the equipment glitch, which is unique to the PSP version of this game here. It allows us to create items in our inventory that we're not necessarily supposed to have yet. It's a weird property of the game, drawing the items from the correct menu index, but not necessarily the right list because we switch between two characters for that one there, so it kind of freaks out and doesn't know what to do. So this is how we're able to equip our party with all these strong gear very, very early on. We're very, very over-equipped for this party, and we're able to blaze through a lot of this game without too much issue in order to beat the game very, very fast. This run is only about an hour and a half on average in comparison to, say, a closer to 3.5 hour run on other versions of this game. So with that knight's armor, our runners don't have to worry about taking any damage from these random encounters, and will be making their way up to the Chaos Shrine up here in the northwest here. Let's see who's the first one to get in here, as both of our runners kind of getting a lot of wild encounters here on the way up. So Dubldrop is the first one to get in here as well. HolySmith not terribly far behind. So if you missed that equipment glitch the first time, our runners are going to grab a leather cap here, and we're going to use that to glitch that leather cap into the Judgment Staff. The Judgment Staff is a post-game weapon that was added to some of the bonus dungeons, which were added in the GBA remake of this game. And that Judgment Staff, in addition to being stronger than most equipment that we can equip at this point in the run normally, also has the benefit of casting the black magic spell Flare. But for this first boss fight against Garland, we are just going to knock him down with these light bulbs on a stick, because it is faster to hit him with 4 rounds of physical attacks than it is to have to do the flare animation, because even though we have access to this very, very powerful spell, our intelligence stat is not terribly high for this level 1 party, so we don't have the damage multipliers which play into the calculations for the damage on the black magic spell. So we are able to knock Garland down by whacking him with light bulbs on a stick. Both of our runners are able to handle that without too much issue there. We have now rescued the princess and are able to continue on with the run. So with the princess rescued, the king awards us with a bridge. We are going to talk to the princess to get this loot. And this loot will not be important at all up until maybe like an hour and 20 minutes into this run here. So we've got a long time before that loot is useful. But in the original NES version, there was nothing that told you necessarily needed the loot. So in order to ensure we couldn't possibly forget it, they made it so that if you tried to leave the room without it, she would actually call you back, and that would actually be about an extra 5 seconds as you walk back to her in order to get the loot from her. So both of our runners now on the bridge cutscene. There are cutscenes in the remix of this game. Fortunately for the PSP version, we are able to skip a good majority of them. Alright, and with that, we will make our way around to the bridge. The bridge has a cutscene that has a little bit of a lower text scroll with it, but as soon as the birds appear, we can just mash start or confirm and just get right through that there. So now that we're past the bridge, random encounters will start to play a significant factor into who has the lead between our runners here. So we're going to make our way east to the town of Provoca, where we're going to have our next mini-boss fight. We're going to grab some supplies we need for the rest of the run, and we're going to eventually get a boat. So one of the things to note for these tiles here, as HolySmith is the first one to get into Provoca, is that our runners will try to go out of their way to dodge certain tiles there. You'll notice actually Dubldrop walked on those dock tiles specifically because they don't generate an encounter chance, and that will allow what's it called? That's a little bit of safety on that there. Forest tiles do have the highest chance to generate encounter. So a little bit of variation between our two runners here there. HolySmith went into the pirate fight immediately, whereas Dubldrop went to do his shopping first. The reason for this is because for route variations, HolySmith wants to try and see if he can get a leather shield drop from the pirate fight. Unfortunately, it does not look like he got it, but that's fine. The HolySmith needs a leather shield in order to glitch equipment later on in the run, and it's better for him optimally to try to chance that leather shield and then go shopping instead of the other way around. The benefit that Dubldrop has of shopping first is that after you beat the pirates, NPCs start wandering around town, and the NPCs won't block your path if they aren't out yet. So with that, with the pirates down, we have obtained a ship, and we will make our way to our next destination, the Kingdom of Elfheim. We're not likely to get water encounters. Water tiles do have one of the lower encounter rates of tiles that's generating encounters there. But neck and neck right out the gate between our runners here. HolySmith having a little bit of fun on the boat. Nothing too terribly interesting going on while we're just sailing down this boat ride here, so you gotta have your, make your amusement where you can. Dubldrop, the first one to get into the Kingdom of Elfheim. Taking a bonus ogre here, so for Dubldrop, he actually is concerned with level thresholds because he will be running the Black Mage version of the Lust Dagger route. Unlike HolySmith, who will be glitching items later to create black magic spells, Dubldrop will be using his Black Mage to cast those spells, and so in order for the Black Mage to learn the spells, he needs to be at a certain level threshold beforehand. So we want Dubldrop will be doing everything to ensure that the Black Mage is level 8 by the time we beat Astos. Another other minor thing that both of our runners do is they temporarily duck into town, either in the castle or as HolySmith is doing. He's just taking this time to detour to grab some gold needles now. Ducking into town will actually reset your, threat level for whatever your chance is to generate an encounter in the overworld back to its default level by either going into town or changing floors in dungeons for that there, which is why the runners duck into there. And to touch on those gold needles that a HolySmith bought, Double will also likely buy these gold needles as well. The reason why we need those gold needles is because later on in the run, we are going to hit a point where we're going to run into cockatrices. Those cockatrices have a stone touch, which will petrify us if they or they have the chance to petrify us if they hit us with a basic attack there. So in order to ensure that we can still continue on our run after we finish that encounter, we have those gold needles to cure that status, because outside of the Stona spell, which is a level 4 white magic spell, we don't have any method of curing that stone status. So Double is the first one to make it into the Marsh Cave here, and then we'll step on this trap tile here, generating 2 to 4 Piscademons here. Got the 4 Piscademons, which is great for him because he wants the experience there, but because we have Judgment Staves and we can cast that Flare spell on demand, we don't necessarily care how many Piscademons we get, as HolySmith is getting a little bit of a scary encounter with this Paralysis lock there. Able to get that Judgment Staff off, though we'll be able to survive it. So Double has obtained the crown from this chest here, and will make his way back out of the Marsh Cave. In other versions of the Final Fantasy 1, you would actually want to try and get 2 Piscademons if you could help it, because unlike those other versions, we don't have the equipment glitch, which because we have the added safety of just having, armor, massive amount of armor as well as access to the Judgment Staff. we can afford to play very risky on that Piscademon fight, and usually will not die. If at most maybe like one on very rare occasions, 2 characters will die if the Piscademons crit through our armor. But otherwise, we have that safety with the Judgment Staff. HolySmith also gaining 4 Piscademons, but not as critical because, as mentioned, the HolySmith is running the White Mage version of the Lust Dagger route, and so the White Mage will become the primary spellcaster and you cast those spells with items instead. So both of our runners have that crown in hand. They're making their way up north here. This is a pathing choice that I mentioned earlier, so we want to try to avoid stepping on those forest tiles. The left side of the mountain has a lot of grass tiles on them, which is a lower chance to generate encounter, and I believe on average is about the same amount of steps depending on how you path through it there, so it works out the same either way. Anyway, we take that crown that we got into the marsh cave. We try to return it to this king there, but it turns out that the sole person that's sitting on a throne in the middle of a ruined castle isn't actually the king of the Elven Kingdom, but is in fact the Dark Elf Astos. So that is a death spell. That is Astos casting there. That is a miss, though. That is very good to see there. Astos has a tendency to cast spells, and his first spell in his spell list is the death spell. This will allow... if it does hit, that's just an instant death on the party member, but fortunately it missed. And then, so Double can now just safely know the Judgment Staff with the physical attacks from the Warrior and the Thief will take them out there. And then with Astos defeated, that will give us the Crystal Eye, which is the next item we need for quest progression here. A lot of this early game for Final Fantasy 1 is all gated around fetch questing. Due to the fact that Final Fantasy 1 was an NES era RPG, to expand out content, they had you do a lot of this back and forth movement there, so it's fine. It is what it is for that there. Will be nothing too terribly dangerous we have to work through. We have the equipment that we'll need here. HolySmith now on the Astos fight as Dubldrop is making his way back toward Elfheim. So HolySmith got a physical hit from Astos, which is good. That is a very nice critical from the Thief there. That will come in handy if the White Mage has low rolled on Intelligence growth through the random level ups there. Alright, and then with this last flare from the Black Mage, we'll be able to take out Astos. So that is deathless in the sense that no one died in our party. We did see the death spell once from Dubldrop, but that is everybody living for our party there. Double now buying Fyra and Thundara for his Black Mage here, and will additionally detour to grab those gold needles. So the reason why we want Fyra and Thundara in our spell inventory and later Blizzara when we have... It's like the reason why we want those spells even though we have access to the Flare spell from the Judgment Staff is because of casting animations. Flare is a very long, drawn-out animation with the charge up into a very, very flashy explosion. And this overall takes about 8 seconds for the full cast to go through once the animation starts and stops. By comparison, Fyra, Thundara, and Blizzara have spell animations that are in about the 4-5 second range, I believe. And that second difference in casting animations over the course of this hour and a half actually does add up to potentially like a minute or two saved over the course of the run. So if you can avoid it as much as possible, you actually don't want to cast spells. But if you're in a situation where you need to do AoE spells in order to deal with the pack of enemies that you're currently dealing with, it is faster to cast the Fyra, Thundara, Blizzara than it is to just rely on the Judgment Staff, which is why our runners go out of their way to get those spells. So Double is the first one to make it up to the Witch's Cave to see the NPC Matoya. Matoya has lost her crystal eye, and in exchange for returning that crystal eye that we got from Astos to her, this will grant us the Jolt Tonic, which is our next progression item that we need to further along our early game overworld progression. Our runners will high-five each other along the way here, although they'll be greeted by some random encounters, rudely interrupting them. So with that, with the Jolt Tonic in hand, we will make our way back to the Elven Kingdom in order to use that Jolt Tonic to wake up the Elven Prince. Double getting the unfortunate Sahagin encounter here. We don't quite have the agility needed to successfully run from them, so Double taking the safe strat of casting Thundara with his Black Mage and fleeing with the rest of his party members. Sahagins, before we get some agility on us, will more than likely take all their turns there. By doing it this way with Thundara there, it guarantees that we end the fight in one round of combat. Because the Thundara will go off whenever the Black Mage takes his turn. So if even in the worst case scenario where the other 3 party members went first and failed to run, we still don't take an additional round of combat there. Very shortly, we will be glitching some equipment though, which will improve our ability to run, and so this will be less of an issue. So in the Elven Castle now, we will take that Jolt Tonic to the Elven Prince. He will awaken from the sleep spell he was under, and he will throw a Mystic Key in our face. So with this Mystic Key in hand, we can now unlock some chests that were previously locked to us. Lock some doors which were previously locked to us. We want the chests inside them. So we're going to exit out of the Elven Castle, and we're going to duck back in. This saves on steps in the overworld here. Make our way around to the backside of the castle here, and we're going to grab the Mithril Hammer and the Bronze Glove. HolySmith will only grab the Mithril Hammer, however. With that Mithril Hammer, we are actually going to now glitch the Thieves' Armlets into our party. The Thieves' Armlets, in addition to increasing our armor, give us a flat 5 bonus agility, and we stack 3 of them, so we have plus 15 agility now. And then Dubldrop uniquely for the Black Mage version of the route will glitch that Bronze Gloves into Sage's Staff onto both the White Mage and the Thief. This has a minor benefit of also improving our run chances, because the intelligence stat does factor into the calculation of running away, but agility does weigh a little bit heavier. We're going to take one more detour into Cornelia Castle now. We are going to go to the back of the castle and go to these chests, which were also previously locked behind the Mystic Key. And we're going to pick up this Nitro Powder. Not sure why we gave the key to our armory to the Prince of a Foreign Kingdom, but I'm not questioning it. It's Final Fantasy I logic. So now, with that Nitro Powder in hand, Dubldrop will be sailing a little bit west onto the... and we'll go to the Dwarf Cave. The Dwarf Cave is where we will talk to the NPC Nerek, who will open up a canal which will allow us to have greater overworld travel in here. So this early game was a very, very long fetch quest that was intended for you to explore this kind of little small area that you found yourself trapped in before introducing you to the world, larger world as a whole. So in Mount Duger here, we're gonna talk. This is Nerek. We hand the Nitro Powder to Nerek, and then he does his Dwarven engineering to blow open the canal. We have a brief cutscene here. We can't skip we can't skip all of it, but we can skip the part where the bridge collapses. And with that, we have now opened the canal. So with the canal open, we can explore the greater world map as a whole, but we would still find we won't have a whole lot of places we can access. We would still be gated a lot by plot progression there, and so we are very much railroaded for this early part of the game. Question: where can the runners lose the most time? That is a answer with a that is a question with a not clear answer, because so specifically for the any percent run on PSP, because of how short it is overall, you can actually lose time anywhere just based on whatever random encounter luck you can potentially run it into. There are a few areas which are what's it called? Those areas are statistically just more likely to happen over the course of people just doing runs. You typically will see some time losses, for example, in Earth Cave, Ice Cave, and even in the back half, the very last dungeon. It all just depends on whatever RNG the game decides to give us there. So you can actually, for this version, because of how short the run is, you could actually just lose time anywhere depending on what RNG the game decides to throw at you. So Dubldrop here is taking the time to do a 15 puzzle. So this is a mini game that exists on the boat, and in the original NES as well as the PSP version, there wasn't much reward to do. Or excuse me, not the PSP, but the PlayStation version. You basically just got money from doing this. It wasn't too terribly useful for the run here, but for the GBA and the PSP versions, they really ramped up the prizes you could get from that there. So what Double was going for was he wanted to end in second place because there was a 1 in 6 chance of getting a consumable item called the emergency exit. This emergency exit is useful for the run because it allows us to save time on backtracking later on there. But important for what's going on right now, Double has bought these steel gloves and is using that to glitch a barbarian sword onto his warrior and his thief. The barbarian sword is a sword that was added to the Labyrinth of Time bonus dungeon, and it was an award for beating the strongest form of the super boss Cornodia. The Barbarian Sword is a 125 base attack power weapon and it gives you a 15 flat bonus to your strength. So there is literally no other weapon in the game that can match the Barbarian Sword in terms of physical prowess, and it's super convenient for the run that we can just easily glitch it by buying a steel gloves into our inventory. Double getting a little bit unfortunate encounter luck here. That was a near full poly paralysis there, but played it safe, had the Black Mage cast that fire spell, and was able to get out of there without having too much repercussions there. So Double now the first one into the Earth Cave, but HolySmith right behind him. This Earth Cave will be one of the first areas where we could potentially see some massive lead swings between whatever our encounter RNG our runners get. Particularly on the 3rd floor, this is what we bought those gold needles for. The 3rd floor of the Earth Cave is the scariest. You have those cockatrices, which I've been talking about, which can petrify you. You have a lot of those undead packs, which we've seen here and there between our runners, which can potentially paralysis lock you and waste a lot of time. Those Pisca demons which we previously saw in the Marsh Cave are back as a random encounter, and they are still flagged as unrunnable for this here, so you do have to fight them if you run into them. So I think about 3 out of the, I want to say 5 or 6 different encounters you can run into here are just bad, so 50% of the time you will run into something that's just not pleasant. But both of our runners here now making their way through the 3rd floor of the Earth Cave. Double playing it very safe with these undead packs, always queuing up that spells with the Black Mage while fleeing with the rest of the party, just in case. So the reason we can we can fairly reliably do this is because targeting from the enemies is not an even 1 in 4 chance across all 4 party members. The characters in the top 2 slots where the warrior and the thief are more favored to be targeted by enemies there, and particularly slot 1 where the warrior is, I believe, has about a 50% chance of being attacked, and then it gets cut in half as you go down. So slots 3 and 4 where the mages are only have about a 1 in 8 chance there, which is why we position them down where they are. But double drop now at the vampire fight. Vampire is normally a boss with very, very high physical defense. You're probably intended to kill him with magic. But we have barbarian swords, so we can just swing that and very, very easily just cut through him like a hot knife through butter. And with that, the vampire is defeated. We will pick up this star ruby. And if we had an emergency exit from that 15 puzzle, this is where we would use it there. Because the emergency exit, when consumed, casts the spell exit, which will take you instantly out of a dungeon. And it saves us all of this backtracking that both of our runners are now going to have to do. And it dodges all of these random encounter chances that we have to go through here. So you'll see now we are kind of tied up there, but it'll basically be down to what sort of encounters there. This is still very back and forth between our 2 runners here. Once we're outside, even it will still be fairly swingy. So as you can see there, the lead has changed probably about 2 or 3 times just in the past minute, just leaving Vampire's chamber. But both of our runners now out of Earth Cave B3, which is the worst part of the dungeon, and they will make their way on to Sarda the Sage. So with that, Double is now out of the Earth Cave and back on the overworld, making his way to the Giant's Cave. The Giant's Cave is blocked by a giant within it. We will be feeding him that star ruby that we have. Yes, I did say feed. He does actually eat it. It's... what's it called? We thought it was a ruby. Turns out it was a gigantic piece of rock candy. Yeah, and with that, the giant will get out of our way, and we'll be able to continue on further through the cave. Nothing too terribly different at this point in the run here. Again, it's just more obligatory fetch questing between our runners, and they'll basically be going back and forth here depending on what type of encounter luck here, and it will basically all lead up to the second trip through the Earth Cave, which will then kind of determine, you know, who's in the lead and who's not there. But even then, there's still massive points within the run that can swing a lead. The total chaos of this tournament does come from the fact that RNG is non-manipulatable in this game. You just have to roll with whatever the game gives you, and that can lead to some very, very wonky things happening in this game here. If you, for those of you that were with us for game 2 between these 2 runners here, you'll know that the last, I want to say, 10 minutes of the run were probably the most exciting portion of the run, with how back and forth it was and how neck and neck everybody was. But with the Earth Rod in hand, we will now make our way back to the Earth Cave, and we will then do a full clear of it this time. This time because we will be able to get past the stone tablet, which was previously blocking our path at the Vampire's Chamber. So HolySmith able to edge out a little bit of a lead here as Double got a and what's it called? Encounter in the Giant's Cave here, but we'll see here. This is neck and neck between the two. This is how when it's this close and one encounter can swing a lead back and forth. That just kind of goes to show what type of RNG that what kind of an RNG fest Final Fantasy 1 can be. So, an unfortunate death for HolySmith on the warrior. Nothing too critical though. Though he was able, what's it called? We do have the Phoenix Downs. We can bring him back up, but Holy, recognizing how close this race is and how much is on the line here, what's it called? Delaying that as much. He needs to open the menu. It looks like. Dubldrop getting a ambush by a 7-pack of gargoyles that will slow him down. What's it called? And will allow HolySmith to get a little bit ahead of him here. Again, with our Thieves Armlets equipped, we are fairly favored to run from a lot of these encounters, but otherwise we don't have too much that we need to worry about over the course of this run here. But both of our runners now on Earth Cave B3 here. Double actually able to close up the gap by having much better encounter luck on the 3rd floor. Holy running into the 1 in 64 Ochre Jelly, however. And with that, we are now on the 4th floor of the Earth Cave. As I previously mentioned, the 3rd floor is the most dangerous one. The 4th floor is nothing too uneventful here. Looks like we're getting a nice long stretch between our runners here where Final Fantasy 1 does actually remember it does have a lower encounter rate compared to other versions of this game. And HolySmith, the first one to make it to the 5th floor of the Lich Cave. Holy getting a random encounter in the boss chamber as Double is also onto the 5th floor of the Earth Cave here. So this this Lich fight will be likely where we see safety saves coming out for our runners here. Lich, even with all of our agility gear, does have a chance to outspeed us and get a turn in. And if Lich decides to take a turn, he might cast a spell. If he casts a spell, he will cast Blizzara as his first spell, and that will pretty much insta-wipe our party. We don't have enough HP and nowhere near enough magic resistance to reduce any amount of damage from that there. So Double has also opted to put a Barbarian Sword onto his White Mage to increase the damage rolls for that one there. HolySmith able to get nice damage rolls between the Warrior and the Thief. Double came up short, but the Barbarian Sword on that White Mage carrying through for that extra damage there. So that is first try Lich down for both of our runners. So we have restored light to our first crystal, and we will have a brief cutscene between the two of them while they every time we beat one of these 4 fiend dungeons there and restore light to a crystal, it removes a seal, which is what this cutscene is, to a bonus dungeon. These were the Soul of Chaos dungeons that were added in the GBA version and carried over to PSP. So now that we've beaten our first Fiend Lich, we have a few options available to us, but so what you're intended to do in a casual playthrough would be to go to Crescent Lake, get the canoe, take that canoe down this long winding river maze into the volcano, beat the Fiend of Fire, then go to the go back through that long winding river maze, go through a different long winding river maze to get to the ice cave to get the airship, and then continue on with the rest of your journey. We're going to do that significantly out of order. Because we are going to actually go down to Crescent Lake, get the canoe. We are then going to go straight to the ice cave to get the airship. We're going to class change. We're going to do a whole bunch of a little bit of overworld stuff, and then we're going to go fight Marilyn the Fiend of Fire, because doing it the intended way is slow and inefficient. So both of our runners now just kind of dealing with whatever water encounters they get along the way. You'll notice that we've been purposely keeping our warrior and our thieves HP low, and you'll notice on HolySmith's screen, his warrior is actually taking a little bit of a dirt nap. The reason for this is that coming up in the ice cavern, we are going to do our major level grind for the rest of the game here, and we specifically want those levels on our mages, and so we are going to actually temporarily kill off the thief and the warrior for that level grind. And so by keeping their HP low, it allows us to more quickly kill them off, and then that allows us to get that EXP that we need on our mages, because EXP is split evenly amongst all living party members at the start of the game. So if you have 4 people up, EXP is split 4 ways, but if you only have 2 people up, each of those guys get 50-50 EXP each, which essentially doubles the amount of EXP they'll get. So both of our runners now into Crescent Lake. They will pick up mithril gloves as well as a mithril axe, and then HolySmith additionally will grab a mithril knife while he's here. For the Lust Dagger route, the important parts here are the mithril axe and the mithril gloves. So with that mithril axe, we are going to glitch the black garb into our party. The black garb is an improvement over the thieves' armlets. It gives us a +10 to our agility in addition to improving our armor. We also will use that mithril glove to glitch the Lust Dagger into the inventory of some of our characters. There, traditionally, this will be the mages. Double favors having the Sage's Staff on the Black Mage for the intelligence, and so puts a Lust Dagger onto the thief instead. And one other additional thing HolySmith will do is glitch that mithril knife into a black robe. The black robe, not to be confused with the black garb, when used as an item in combat, will cast the Blizzara spell. So that will be another spell option that HolySmith will have over having to use the Judgment Staff. And with that, our runners now will make their way back into the overworld, and they will make their way back to their boats in order to get to the Sea Shrine. Oh, excuse me, not the Sea Shrine, the Ice Cavern. Getting ahead of myself. Important thing to note, the reason why we did not glitch the black garb onto our party is because, or excuse me, we did not glitch the black robe onto our warrior. The reason for this is because in order to do the equipment glitch, you need to have a character that can equip the original item in order to create the glitch item onto an adjacent party member. Unfortunately, the warrior is the only person in our party who can currently equip the mithril axe, and so because he's the only one that can naturally equip it, we can't access the glitch to do the black garb onto the warrior from any other party member. The thief, when he class changes to a ninja, will eventually be able to equip some axes, but by the time we get to that point, we'll be able to glitch a much better piece of gear onto our warrior. So here we'll see another safety save out of our runners here in the ice cavern here, because there are a lot of bad encounters within this ice cave. If you thought the earth cave was bad, the ice cave is just as bad, if not worse. Pisca demons are back, as you can see on both of our runners' screens now. Cockatrices are back, and they brought friends with them. The specters are back, or what's it called? The wraiths are back with specters. The Gulgas are still here. What else are there? there's mine. Oh yeah, there's upgraded Piscademons called Mind Flayers, which have an AoE paralysis skill as well as Death Touch on their basic attacks. So overall, there's about 8 different encounters you can run into here within the Ice Cave, and only 2 of them will not kill you outright. Or at least, it's like not 2 of them will not kill you outright or give you give you a difficult time. Those blood bones on HolySmith screens are one of the 2. But both of our runners now making their way through the ice cavern, and we'll see what type of encounter luck we'll get here. Double taking a safety save just after falling through that trap tile, just in case. Double's also taking a few quick detour to step on those icicle tiles there. So those actually are damage tiles, and they will inflict 1 point of damage every time you step on it. The reason he did that a couple of times was to bring the warrior and the thief's HP down lower, so that way when we get to the eye boss, the eye is more likely to kill them if the eye decides to do a Thundara spell, which is the optimal thing we want to see out of the eye. It is the fastest way that we can get both the warrior and the thief down. But Holy, the first one to get to the eye trap tile there, so step on the eye trap tile. We're going to defend up until we only have the white mage and the black mage left standing there. Gaze is not what we want to see, however. There's the Thundara. Oh! Wow, oh no. So that was very unfortunate to see for that there. The Thundara did high roll on the mage there, so, and even after that physical was not able to survive on that one there. I thought that might be a concern for the black mage with how much the HP the black mage has. I did not expect the white mage to go down. That was a very high roll for the white mage there. So HolySmith will need to backtrack to that eye grind there, and that will allow Dubldrop to get catch a lead here. And then we'll be spending about 2 minutes here in the ice cavern to level up our mages to about level 18. So that is unfortunate for HolySmith that he will have to backtrack through the ice cave again here, but I believe this is actually still within a gap distance that our runners can actually still catch up with one another here. But depending on what type of RNG Double gets as when he's leaving the ice cavern, as well as Holy is getting some fairly good luck as he redescends back down. Hasn't run into anything too terrible yet. Although this ambush on the trap tile from falling down will slow Holy down quite a bit there, so that will certainly play into a factor here. So that is level 18 for Dubldrop's mages. We're going to bring the thief back up, heal up our party, and then we're going to backtrack out of the ice cave for Dubldrop here. HolySmith doing his best to make it through the back to the eye grind. So the reason why we bring the thief back up but not the warrior is because we're still trying to funnel that EXP into the white mage and the black mage there, as HolySmith has ran into the 1 in 64 white dragon encounter. So playing it safe there by queuing up physicals to ensure that there, just in case that black mage wasn't able to run there. That was a very close call. Made it very, very safe there on that encounter. Double getting the unrunnable Ice Gigas encounter. But yes, with our thief up, the thief can also start to gain some EXP as well. So in addition to getting the mages to level 19, that's the instant Thundara. That is for HolySmith. That is much better result from there. That's what we wanted to happen the first time. Actually, is we wanted that turn 1 Thundara. Well, yeah. So the thief, if we can get the levels on him, when he class changes to a ninja, we'll be able to cast black magic. It's not something we optimally, or it's like we critically go out of our way to route around. It's just one of those things where if it happens, it happens, and it just saves us a little bit of time later on the chaos fight. One other thing of note here that we'll be paying attention to is the HP of our Thief and our Black Mage specifically. Depending on what type of HP thresholds we hit at the Chaos fight, we can potentially save some additional turns on setup by not needing to Giant Sonic, which will allow us to get into boss killing mode faster. But Dubldrop now has made his way back to his boat, and this ship, as well as it served us, is going to be obsoleted because the only thing better than a ship that can sail on the water is a ship that can fly through the air. So we will go to the Ryokan Desert here. We will use that lava stone that we picked up in the ice cave to rise up the airship from the desert here. And the airship has the benefit of that it does not generate random encounters as we go through the overworld there. One unfortunate drawback is that we do have to land the airship on a plain grass tile there, so we're going to see a little bit of funky overworld movement coming up from Double here. So we're going to take this airship and we're going to sail a little bit to the southwest, and we're going to land on this specific tile here in this forest. And then we're going to walk all the way to the Citadel of Trials. Now you might be wondering, why don't we park it, right next to the Citadel or, someplace closer? As I mentioned, the drawback of the airship is we have to land it on a plain grass tile. That is unfortunately the closest plain grass tile there is that we can land that airship on in order to get to the Citadel Trials. We could have actually gone to Citadel a different way, because if you recall, when actually going to the ice cave, what we did was we parked at the boat at the mouth of a river and got into the canoe. We could actually do that to shortcut to the Citadel, but it's a long sail on the boat to get to the Citadel in the first place, and you still generate encounters along the way here. So the PSP route has been very thoroughly tested and routed in such a way that we do the Ice Cavern level grind first, get the airship, and then come back to do the Citadel Trials. Dubldrop navigating his way through the teleporter maze that is within the Citadel. If you ever get, if you ever were going through here casually, the way you navigate through here is when given the option between multiple teleporters, take the one that's lower on the screen. If you always take the bottommost teleporter that's available to you, you will make your way through here. HolySmith getting another really nasty encounter here. Okay, the thief was able to come up from the sleep, but that is the Black Mage petrified. So White Mage able to get the Mage Staff off. That will be able to clear out that enemy pack there, but that could have been a very, very dangerous situation for Holy. Dubldrop now on the Nightmare Trap Tile. We do have to step over this Trap Tile twice. The reason for that is that we want this treasure chest that's in the corner up here. This treasure chest contains the Healing Staff, which we will need to glitch a item later on in the run. The Lordly Robes. Actually, Double will take this opportunity now to not only put the Barbarian Sword back onto the Thief, but we're also going to throw the Lust Dagger onto the Black Mage, as well as glitch a Lordly Robe into the Black Mage's inventory. This will make up the intelligence we lost from not having the Sage of Staff equipped anymore. Another thing to point out, you might have noticed over the course of the run while we're doing this equipment glitching, that we haven't been putting anything into the shield slot up until now. The reason for this is because normally when you use a shield, there's an animation associated with it where the character will pull the shield up in order to block an attack. There's a chance that can happen. Because the equipment glitch allows us to put things like body armor and helmets and gloves onto places that were not intended to have them, like into the shield slot, for example, if we were to glitch certain pieces of gear into the shield slot, and then the game tried to trigger that shield animation, the game would hard lock. So the Lordly Robes are safe, which is why we put it there. But this is why the runners don't, like, say for example, go all out and glitch everything into the shield slot there. Double got the rat tail from that treasure chest there, stepped on the trap tile which had the dragon zombie, and then made what's it called? I believe he feels he has enough EXP to get level 19 if he has not already hit level 19 on his mages, and will make his way out of the citadel from there. So with our valor and bravery proven, with that rat tail in hand, we will go on to Cardia Isles to complete the class change quest, as our runners will high-five each other in this desert here. Rude Desert Beretta decided to try and take over Double's airship. But with that, now make our way on to Cardia. We will go to this particular cave right here, and then we will go down these really, really long corridors in order to talk to Bahamut in order to finish out the class change quest. Class change casually has a lot of benefits, from being able to equip additional equipment to increasing the spell repertoire of our mages, as well as allows the knight and the ninja to start casting white and black magic respectively. For the purposes of the speedrun, however, the most beneficial thing for us is the fact that the mages can learn certain spells they could not do previously if they weren't class changed. We don't much care about the equipment glitch. The equipment benefit, while it does help us facilitate the equipment glitch, because we have access to the equipment glitch already, we can kind of gear up our party with whatever we need to, so long as we have the requisite items for it. And with class change done and out of the way, we're going to take one more detour. We're going to fly to the west here to go to this desert caravan. We are going to pick up a bottled ferry, which will allow us to get a quest progression item. Excuse me. Later on, that bottled fairy will be freed, and she will give us an ox yale, which we will need to access the sea shrine later. And then in this caravan as well, we will also pick up some giant's tonics, which we will need for the chaos fight at the very, very end of the game. Those tonics give you temporary stat bonuses for the duration of one battle. The giant's tonics gives you a plus 200 bonus HP, maximum HP, for the duration of that fight. HolySmith getting... Okay, this might be bad for HolySmith. So the fortunate part is that the Mind Blast will continue to miss as long as everyone is paralyzed. So actually, all of these Mind Flayers doing Mind Blast is a good thing. We don't want to see them do the physical hits because of the Death Touch on that one there. We want to see more Mind Blast, and we just need to pray that one of the mages comes back up before... What's it called? Before the after all the Mind Flayers have taken their turn, but before they take their next one on that one there. So Mind Blasts are key. They unfortunately waste time, and benefit here is that the mages do have a higher magic resistance, so they're much more likely to resist the Death Touch on there. But this is a very, very scary situation for HolySmith that is just eating time. I unfortunately don't know when he last safety saved for here, but it does not look like he will have a safety save that he can default back to in order to get out of this encounter. So it would just be this is just a waiting game. That is the Black Mage down. That is not good. Do more Mind Blast. Come on, White Mage. Do more Mind Blast and come back up. You can do it. Okay, so the HolySmith now has some options. He can either try to run, or he can try to get the Judgment Staff off. Opting to use the Judgment Staff, the White Mage is able to get that turn in with the black garbs and the Lust Dagger equipped. So got that flare spell off. That was a very, very scary situation for HolySmith. The run is not dead, but he lost a lot of time to that encounter there, which did allow Double to expand his lead further now into the volcano. The volcano is not a terribly dangerous dungeon for the run. We avoid a lot of the encounters by stepping on these lava tiles. So in exchange for taking 1 point of damage, we get no encounters. Double already more than halfway through the volcano now, actually. HolySmith detoured to grab the gauntlets there before grabbing the rat tail. The gauntlets will allow him to cast Thundara as the thunder magic there, and then additionally will later be used to glitch the golden staff onto the white mage's inventory. So Double has made it now to Marilith's chamber. We'll bring the warrior back up, and then we'll feed all the use the warrior to help take down Marilith there. HolySmith, I believe, opted to bring the warrior back up early because the mages are already at the levels he needs them to be, and is probably just deciding that level 15 on the thief is not worth to go for. Need to have that extra body up in order to ensure that we have an extra person who can run, or at least can take hits for us. That is Marilith down for Dubldrop, and that is our second of 4 fiends defeated now. This Sphinx encounter can be a little bit difficult to run from. They do have a high agility even with our black garb there, so depending on how many times we try this there. Okay, so Holy is opting to combine Flee with magic spell there, and of course because he did the extra menuing there, we got the run chance. So with the Fiend of Fire defeated now, we are going to take a little bit of an additional detour. We're going to go ahead and stop by Elfheim in order to buy Haste and Blizzara for our Black Mage, and if able, we're also going to grab Haste for the Ninja. I did not, unfortunately, catch the level that the Ninja was at for Dubldrop here. So unfortunately, it does not look like was able to get the Haste this time, but that's alright. Again, it's not something we go out of our way for to ensure. It's just one of those things where if it works out, it works out. And then we're going to take one more detour to the town of Melmond. We're going to use that. We're going to pick up Heal Aura, which will be our primary way of healing our party for the rest of the run. And then we're going to pick up the Teleport spell, which was what we needed the class change for. Teleport, if you're familiar with NES, is the Warp spell, which will take you back 1 floor previous in the dungeon. And it is unfortunately class change locked, so we have to get it. We have to class change in order to use it there. But it saves us a lot of time in overworld backtracking. So with that, Double is going to make his way onto Onrock and into the Sea Shrine to continue down to fight the Fiend of Water Kraken. But we're going to take a few detours here first, there within Onrock. Within the Sea Shrine. Fun little thing of note, so that mermaid is supposed to fade out when she's disappearing, which is why she's known as called by some as Spooky Ghost Mermaid. I thought it was a graphical glitch from emulator that she wasn't fading out. No, it actually turns out that even on console, the fade out animation just doesn't work properly, and she will just drift out, and then at a certain point she would just disappear from the map. It's really, really strange. I don't know how, even with all the graphical improvements on the PSP, the GBA version still did the fade out better than PSP. So Double running into one of the 3 unrunnable encounters you can run into here in the Sea Shrine. You have the Prince Sagan Chiefs, you have Water Elementals, and you have Ghosts. All 3 of them are flagged as unrunnable, and you'll just have to deal with them accordingly. We have the magics to do so. But we need to go up the Sea Shrine in order to get the Rosetta Stone from the Mermaid's Floor, and then we need to go back down eventually in order to beat Kraken. So HolySmith picked up his Oxia and will use that to access the Sea Shrine afterward. How much difference currently between them? I would say, as a rough estimate, at least, I want to say probably like 5 minutes would actually not be, yeah. Actually, like 5 minutes might be a high estimate, but yeah, 3 to 4 sounds about right according to Dubldrop in chat there. Yeah, this Sunken Shrine is not doing Dubldrop any favors, so HolySmith can potentially make up some ground if this trend continues and if he gets a lot of these high encounters, and if Holy can get lower encounters, what's it called, easier encounters to deal with there. So we're going to use that teleport spell after picking up the Rosetta Stone, and we're going to backtrack 1 floor. That is another unrunnable Sahagin encounter for a Dubldrop. But on this 4th floor, we're going to pick up a light axe. There's 2 light axes within the Sea Shrine, and you need to grab at least 1 of them. There's 1 on the 4th floor, and there's 1 on the 2nd floor. Some runners will opt to backtrack all the way to the 2nd floor, and wait to do this. This is a relatively recent development for the 4th floor light axe there. It is fewer steps overall to get to it, but as you can currently see, as what Double's experiencing, the encounter quality is much lower on the 4th floor. So it kind of balances out on average that, you know, because you have to take, you might get more encounters along the way, that the 2nd floor light axe is something that some runners go for. But with that light axe in our inventory, we're going to glitch survival vests onto our party there, and we're also going to take this time to glitch lordly robes onto our mages. So the survival vests will allow us to get a plus 15 to our agility versus the plus 10 that we got from the black garb. And then additionally, the lordly robes give us an intelligence boost there. So right now, our black mage is currently rocking 2 of each. The white mage has a more late game build intended to set her up for the chaos fight at the very, very end here. But at this point, Double has gotten everything he needs from the Sea Shrine, and will just be making his way as quickly as possible to the Kraken fight, as HolySmith has finished up his Marilith fight now. Alrighty, so Dubldrop now has made it to the Kraken fight, as HolySmith has starting to do his shopping. Kraken is a very, very trivial boss for the any percent run because of how much armor and agility we have stacked up. His deadliest attack, his 8 physical hits because he's an octopus, gets reduced to basically 1 damage per hit, and sometimes because of our agility, he doesn't even get all 8 hits in. Ink is a non-trivial skill. It just inflicts the darkness status, but darkness doesn't really matter a whole lot. It maybe stops 1 or 2 attacks. So that is Kraken down for Dubldrop. Looks like HolySmith is opting to do a few things out of order here. We'll be going straight to the Waterfall Cavern in order to pick up the ribbons early before going to the Sea Shrine. This technically doesn't matter which order you do it in. You do have to go to both places eventually there. So, HolySmith will be opting, I guess, to pick up the ribbon early and then grab the warp cube, so that way after going to Onrock can just go straight back to the airship afterward. As I mentioned, yeah, it doesn't technically matter which order you do these two things here. They're both in relatively the same place, and you have to go to both. That knight is taking a lot of damage, though. I'm kind of curious to see if the knight has the proper equipment on. I'm not 100% sure. So this encounter quality is not doing any of our runners any favors whatsoever. It's basically been, encounter every few steps. But at this point, we're basically playing race to the robot. HolySmith has a bit of a lead here. Okay, and Double is the first one into the trap tile. The robot is in a good position being right next to the trap tile. And then we will go pick up this ribbon here in this one chest, and this ribbon will be an instance where we'll be duplicating the item. So we're going to turn that ribbon into a Gigantaxe, and then with that Gigantaxe, we're then going to glitch additional ribbons into our party there. So because we have access to the equipment glitch, this is actually the reason why we don't need to go out of our way to grab additional ribbons here. And it actually looks like Holy did not put Thieves' Armlets onto his warrior, which would explain why he doesn't have as much armor on his party compared to everybody, his knight compared to the rest of the party there. But so Holy is doing a lot of menuing here. He's trying to ensure that his party is in some semblance of a boss killing formation, if so that he can try and catch up there. So now HolySmith, having done Waterfall first, will go into Onrock in order to do the Sea Shrine. I apologize if I totally was a bit ahead. I might have been thrown off by the order of the dungeons on that one there. But Holy did do some additional menuing for the equipment glitch in order to save time later on, and it also puts the party in a more boss killing formation so that he can try to potentially catch up by increasing his overall damage output. So with the Rosetta Stone that we picked up from the Sunken Shrine, the Double went to Melmon, talked to Dr. Un, and then sailed all the way back up in the airship to the Lufenian Peninsula. We have to land on that one little patch of grass, and then we have to make our way all the way down south in order to get to the town of Lufenia. Not a whole lot we can do to dodge these forest tiles. We just kind of have to just roll with whatever encounters the game gives us. Okay, that is a rude NPC. And that is also a rude NPC. So Dubldrop getting double blocked by the NPC. Almost got triple blocked there. That NPC was one tile off of blocking his path there, but Double is saying that he still goated that split, and I do believe that has to do with the encounter quality of walking of his path down to Lufania. I believe he actually had very few encounters, if any at all, over the course of walking down to the Lufanian Peninsula there. HolySmith able to get to his Rosetta Stone, and then will now be able to start backtracking his way through the Sea Shrine. HolySmith will also be opting to do the level 4 light axe strats. Alright, so Double now, with the Chime and the Warp Cube in hand, we will access the Mirage Tower here. So this first floor is very short. We just have to duck up and around because we don't go out of our way to get the treasure chests. On the second floor, very much a similar situation. It's just a more roundabout, path to get to the end of the dungeon, because we have to go all the way around the perimeter of the floor in order to get to the staircase where we need to go. Mirage Tower, normally you would maybe do on a detour to get some of the goodies that are in the center of the rooms on each of the floors there, but because we have access to the equipment glitch, we don't need them. It's not going to be better than any of the equipment we've currently glitched onto our party. So we just skip it. These Hellhounds wasting the maximum amount of time by all 4 of them using Blaze. Thanks, game. But on the 3rd floor of the Mirage Tower now, and we'll be able to kill the Blue Dragon and get up to the Flying Fortress shortly. Alright, now in the Flying Fortress there, similar situation to the Mirage Tower, we don't necessarily care too much about the treasure chests that are along the way here. All we care about is getting to the dungeon, to the boss at the end as quick as possible. Even though there are a lot of good equipment similar to the situation in the Mirage Tower. Double getting quite the high random encounter luck there. The game is trying to slow him down as much as it possibly can. However, this is a very sizable lead for Double now. By the end of this, we'll probably have about a dungeon's worth of gap between the two of them. So this 4th floor is the wraparound floor again. You just have to go up horizontal, or it's called two screens vertically and 2 screens horizontally in any direction without doubling back in order to make your way to the teleporter at the very end of the end of the maze. And then if you want to see a certain metal robot, this is your chance to see it. Dubldrop on the Bridge of Destiny. That is air elementals. That is cracking down for HolySmith now. Alright, taking a safety save at Tiamat. And then now we'll be fighting the Tiamat fight for that one there. So that is the Thunderbolt. That is probably about the worst thing Tiamat can do. That might be a Black Mage down. Yep, that is a Black Mage down. So unfortunately, we don't put a ribbon onto our spellcaster because we want to ensure that we still retain those intelligence bonuses onto the party members. And in the Black Mage route, unfortunately, this means that the Black Mage cannot get a ribbon until later on in the run. But with Kraken down for HolySmith and having done Waterfall first, he's able to go back to his airship directly, and then we'll go talk to Dr. Un to learn the Finian there. Dubldrop has beaten Tiamat now, restored light to the final crystal, and will be able to progress to the end of the game now. HolySmith getting the actually very good Dr. Un NPC. Lucky actually came toward him. It's one of those little tiny things that, you know, as you run this game, you come to appreciate. So Double taking some safety to bring up the Black Wizard as well as heal up his party, because you can still run into random encounters even after you've already defeated the boss, and we do have some tiles to go through. So no War Mech for Dubldrop. Making his way back to his airship, and will proceed on to the Chaos Shrine to complete the rest of the game. So in the Chaos Shrine, we're treated to a little bit of a cutscene, which will reveal to us where the bonus dungeon, the Labyrinth of Time, is. It's located at the back of the Chaos Shrine. This guy's gonna bang his head against the wall for a little bit, and then a door is gonna magically appear. If you wish to install a door, I do not recommend banging your head against the wall. It will not end well. But with the light to the 4 crystals restored, we can open up this time portal, which will allow us to go 2,000 years into the past, and Dubldrop is now entering the final dungeon of the game. Alright, so the first few floors of the Chaos Shrine are the scariest. That is a White Dragon ambush. This could potentially be bad. That is 1 Ice Storm. That is 2 Ice Storms. That is probably a Black Mage down. Black Mage clutches it out. Okay, that was scary, but only 2 of them decided to do the Ice Storm. We're not having good run luck, however, here, though. Okay, Double able to get away cleanly on that one there. These first few floors are the scariest because you have things like those White Dragons. You have Earth Dragons coming up in a couple of floors. You have quite a few unrunnable encounters in here. This is just overall like to show you that the Chaos Shrine means business. They really front-loaded all the worst enemy encounters that they could throw at you. Those are green dragons. They are unrunnable, and they have an AoE Earth Elemental skill called I believe it's Poison Gas, compared to the Ice Dragons, Ice Storms there. More and more green dragons there, as HolySmith has gotten his chime and is making his way back to his airship. Much better HP for the Knight this time around, much more likely to survive a flare from Lich if it comes to that there. The White Mage also will have little trouble surviving with the amount of HP she has. The Ninja and the Black Mage have about the standard amount of HP that they have at this point in the game. HolySmith uniquely actually does have a bit of a high roll for his Ninja's HP, so what's it called? Look, on the bright side, that will save him a turn of setup because the Ninja likely won't need a tonic by the time he gets to the Chaos fight. And then remember how I said that loot that wouldn't be useful until about an hour and 20 minutes now? It's about an hour and 20 minutes, and what's it called? We're finally using that loot that we got 3 minutes into this run. So with that, Double is now backtracking through the floors he previously went through. Will make his way, he's one floor away from the Fiend Elemental Refight floors. Purple Worms are unrunnable, will slow him down a little bit. Alright, so Double has made it to the Fiend Refight floors now and will make his way to the Lich Refight. And let's see. Those Wyvern and Worms are very, very mad that the Holy killed the Blue Dragon, so they wanted to make their presence known. Getting bombarded with these encounters as he makes his way to the Fiendry fights. Getting quite a few levels along the way though. Both the Warrior and the White Mage at over 400 HP now though, so they are definitely likely to survive a flare now, barring a substantially high roll that I'm not aware of from flare as far as max damage is concerned. Lich went with the physical hit, so no flare this time around. And that is Lich down for Double. HolySmith now on the Bridge of Destiny on your right hand side of your screen there. This will be our last chance today to see a War Mech. Let's see, do we see one? So we have not seen one yet. We have a few tiles afterward, but we might not see a War Mech today. Double making his way through the fire-themed floor now. Now to the Marilith 2 refight. Conveniently, you alternate the lengths of the floors. So while Lich's floor has you go up and around, and Kraken's floor has quite a convoluted path through it. Marilith's floor and Tiamat's floor are very, very short when it comes to just getting to them. Even though you do have to go up and around on Marilith's floor too, it's a much shorter walk. That is Tiamat down for HolySmith. And that is Marilith 2 down for Dubldrop. So now on the sea theme floor, Double had a fairly good walk through the beginning portion of it here, looks like. So HolySmith out of the Flying Fortress now. No War Mech today for the tournament there. He continues to elude us once again. So HolySmith now will start his dive down into the Chaos Shrine there, but Dubldrop has about a three boss lead on him, so it will be quite a ways to make up here. Kraken 2, once again, Kraken a very, very trivial fight because with all of our armor, his strongest attack becomes insignificant. See, 8 hits, but only did 8 damage because of how much armor we've stacked on. And that is a dead Kraken. If you saw it really quickly there, Kraken 2 dropped iron. eye drops. It's one of the weird things about the random drops, so the bosses can actually drop items there. Kraken's is always weird to me because Kraken 1 drops a really nice katana that you can use for that as a decent upgrade for most weapons in the if you're doing a casual playthrough. Kraken 2 drops eye drops. I don't know why. Because what we really need when we're, 2 bosses from the end of the game is a way to cure the blind status, which goes away at the end of a fight. So this is the Tiamat fight now for Double. It looks like he went ahead and did his final menuing ahead of time, getting his menus all set up. And this should be a dead Tiamat. Yep. So with that, Double has completed all 4 of the Fiend refights now, and is now on to the Chaos fight itself. Again, has already done a majority of his menuing, I believe, for the final fight here. So we'll just need to heal up the party and ether up the mages to ensure that they have full MP, and then we will go into the Chaos fight proper. So 280 and 211 for the Ninja and Black Mage respectively. That's not quite at the HP thresholds we need them to be at. We want to see about 300 plus on the Ninja and about 250 plus for the Black Mage there. So Double will have to take a little, a couple of turns to throw Giant's Tonics onto both the Ninja and the Black Mage. But the general strategy to set up here is that we are going to Giant's Tonic up the Ninja and the Black Mage. We're going to haste the Ninja and then the Knight and then finally the Black Mage. The White Mage will be on full heal duty, and this is and then once we're all set up, we're just going to hold X, and then we're going to swing the Barbarian Sword. We've set up our party compositions for the equipment in such a way that the White Mage will pretty much always go last in the turn order. And the reason for that is because we want to ensure that her heals come out after we have already gotten through the damage that Chaos has done for the turn there. Double also taking a safety by tonicking up the White Mage as well. But now we'll start transitioning into attacking, so we're going to haste up the Ninja now. Now, unfortunate turn order, the Ninja went before the haste came out. That is unfortunate to see, but then we'll at least now from future turns, now the haste effect will go into phase. So haste, compared to other Final Fantasies, doesn't make you go sooner in the turn order. It doubles the amount of attacks you do per round. So you saw the Ninja did 14 attacks with that swing, whereas in the previous turn he only did 7. And so with that, I believe we've done about, I want to say 5,000 points of damage if I've counted correctly. Slow-Ra, what's it called? On the White Mage, doesn't matter. Slow-Ra does the opposite of haste. It actually halves the number of attacks you do, or like it doesn't like bring it down to 1 or something wonky like that. It doesn't really matter. It hit the White Mage, and the White Mage is not attacking. So Double is now in hold X to win, and is basically just a damage race to get through Chaos's 20,000 hit points before Chaos goes aggressively through his spell list there. The 4th spell in Chaos's spell list is Cure Raja, which will heal him for 9,999, effectively half his HP. That is a concern because the White Mage does not have all the MP in the world, but if Chaos decides to do aggressive on the spell list, he can get down to Flare there. But that is GG for Dubldrop with Chaos down with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 50 seconds. So let's see here. What's it called? HolySmith now making his way through to the rest of the Chaos Shrine.
Howdy.
And let us now welcome in Dubldrop. GG's, congratulations to you on your win there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with that, you have won the bracket stage match at 2-1. 2-1. You will be continuing to the round of 8.
I don't feel so bad now because it's more than 3 minutes. Because if I beat him by the amount of time that the death to Evil Eye was, I would feel really bad about it.
Yeah. GG's to you. That is that was very unfortunate in the at the eye grind there. I knew it can happen, but I did not expect to see Thundara hit for 89 damage on the white mage after a gaze hit her for like 60 or something like that.
Yeah, I throw a heal if gaze hits her.
Yeah,
always. I don't risk it.
It was just especially the black mage was like only in the 80s on the HP too as well. So that was at that HP range. I know it's like the black mage is probably gonna die there if the Thundara comes out.
Yeah. Alternatively, what you can do is just kill the Evil Eye after seeing that.
And just
heal up in the menu and then yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to play that save.
Yeah, but it is unfortunate, but that is just the kind of, total chaos that this game can throw at our runners.
Yeah, there was another like 3 minutes of time that I saved. That wasn't death related, so
yeah. No, the encounter luck wasn't doing anybody any favors in this run. Like the wipe happened in an I felt in a time gap where it's like it was still recoverable, but like when Holy was trying to leave, that was when like the game really cranked up the encounters, and that just really widened the gap up afterwards.
Yeah, I thought it was still 3 minutes, and then I saw minus 630 at Merilith. I'm like, okay, what happened?
Yeah, no, the encounters were not nice. Like he was landing at Citadel by the as you were leaving it, going back to the airship.
Yeah. Like
Ice Cave was not kind. To Holy this run.
I had a really nice stretch from slightly after Rosetta Stone until just before Tiamat.
Yeah, I did notice. Yeah, you mentioned that you gold splitted the the chime split there, and I was like, that made sense
with the double NPC block too. That's like even more ridiculous.
Yeah, but that just goes to show how much encounter quality really matters when you're trying to traverse through all those forests trying to get down to the town.
My gold is 2 encounters too. That's the worst part. Like I had the same number of encounters and 0 unrunnables for both. It's just I was gonna beat it by 10 seconds if I didn't get NPC blocked. Well, I think it was a matter of like encounters leaving waterfall. That was the 10-second difference.
Yeah. So, well, I will say as for positives of this run, that ninja is going all out on trying to be as beefy as possible for Holy.
Oh yeah, he's got a really nice ninja.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he needs to tonic his ninja, to be honest. Might as well at this point because the race is already over. But
yeah, I mean, just
if it was close, it was close, I would not be throwing a tonic down. That's for sure.
Yeah. So because I remember like when Holy was in Waterfall, he actually did menuing to just he went into full boss killing mode. Like he put the Barbarian Sword back onto the Black Mage early, and he was just gonna mow down everything in his way, trying to catch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like at a certain point, what's it called? It was just out of HolySmith's hand. Like I don't blame HolySmith for his decision making this game. I think he did everything he possibly could in order to get the best possible outcome he get, and it's just the game just you wouldn't throw him a bone.
Yeah, I mean, just despite the death, he can walk away at least knowing that he would have had to have PB'd by at least 2 minutes to win the race.
Yeah, and he also I did see actually he got the rune staff there, so if this chaos fight goes long for whatever reason, he does have that backup there for the Hilara. So that's
such
nice
a
to
nice
see
drop.
as well. Yeah,
That's such a nice drop. I love getting that.
yeah.
You can do so many funky things on chaos if you get that drop.
All right, here. So we just have to finish up this chaos fight now for Holy.
It's actually interesting, right? Like if you do the menu before Tiamat, like I've been doing, and you get the rune staff drop, you could just like forgo menuing before chaos completely and just cast the rune staff for no MP.
Yeah, because you won't have to re-ether up the white mage afterward. Like the word oh, actually no, yeah, because you even put the Sage's staff on ahead of time. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I won't do that in a PD attempt, but in a race, like it's interesting to menu before Tiamat because what that gives you is the ribbon on the Black Mage. So if he spams spells like Thunderbolt and like his poison attack, the Black Mage will survive a round because without the ribbon, he just dies instantly.
All right, so it looks like Blaze was the turn one there. HolySmith hasting with the ninja on himself, throwing the tonic onto the Black Mage there. Looks like he's just going to go into full boss killing mode. The ninja and the warrior already hasted up, going to be going out swinging.
Blizzard is a nice first turn. Unlike his special abilities, Blizzard has magic damage, and you take 50% reduction from that because of your ribbon.
Yeah, physicals are also nice because they're short to see. Yeah, you just like it's
provided they don't crit you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Provided they don't crit. Like that was still like so ridiculous that happened the first time.
That's what I was saying to myself in the first race. I'm like, as long as my white mage doesn't get crit, I win. That's the only thing that could kill me at that point. Well,
the most dangerous spells are out of the way now because the slower mist, and so with the amount of damage we have stacked on now, we're pretty favorable to kill Chaos before he gets anywhere close to Karaja. I think.
Yeah.
I think he would have to do Thundaga and Karaja back to back in these next 2 turns. In order
to win, basically.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
Alright, and what's it called? HolySmith has entered the chat with us. You know, Chaos is down for him with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, 32 seconds.
GG.
You know, yeah.
Thanks for the GG.
Yeah, good game to you, Holy. Yeah, Double and I were mentioning about how the game did not do you any favors. Yeah, you did everything you possibly could have. That was within your control. It just the game just would not cooperate.
I always like that with this game. Love and hate. So.
Yeah, I had a really good run in the like late middle part of the game. So
after
like I was saying to Toku, I'm like you can't feel too bad about your death because I had such a good string that you would have had to have PB to beat me anyways. Like the gap was a lot more than your death. So
yeah. But I understand why we don't do the waterfall first now. So
yeah, I saw you do it. I'm like, why is he going to waterfall first?
Well, we
used to a long time ago, but then we discovered that nightmares are a pain to run away from. The survival vests make that so much nicer.
Well, I was wondering. That's why. So
now you know.
I have the feeling to, hey, I'm in advance for you. I see in chat that work. So Only for the trolling. I like that.
But yeah, that was rough. But you know, GG to you, HolySmith finishing out strong. You know, made it to the top 16. You know, that's an excellent way to end out your tournament run here for us. You know, and I just hope that you know it was just enjoyable along the way for everybody.
It took it to game 3. You went down swinging, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Did not go down without a fight.
Mm-hmm.
I make an achievement. I beat Dubldrop for one time. So
I mean, you PB'd too, which is
Yeah.
even better.
Yeah, it's like you have a lot to be proud of. You know, it's like you ended Dubldrop's undefeated streak. You PB'd and you took a best of 3 game series to game 3. I don't think we've gone to game 3 once this whole tournament yet in this bracket stage so far.
Leo and Soma are in game 3.
Oh, Leo and Soma went game 3. Okay.
Okay.
I couldn't recall, but yeah, there's a lot you can be proud of, man. Despite how this game ended, so end out strong. GG to you. Yeah.
Yeah, GG, and good luck for the tourney.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck to you, Double. Any final shoutouts, final thoughts on the match today?
It was frustrating for all except that nice 30-minute stretch I had at the end of this race. Otherwise, I was raging behind my mic the whole time with the terrible RNG I was getting. But that's FF1. You just have to slog through it and hope that the game throws you a break every now and again.
Holy, any shoutouts, final comments?
Well, Chaos didn't kill me last time, so thanks, Chaos. So the ambush, Flare, Blast was funny too. So that's all.
Yeah. Total Chaos lives up to its name. RNG, give it the RNG, take it the way there. You know. Yeah. But yeah, GG to both of you. You know. Congratulations, Double, once again on your win. Good, best of luck to you as you advance to the round of 8. There. Thank you. I think that will do us for us. So before we go, I want to again, thank Double and Holy for their participation within the tournament. You know, keeping the tradition going now into its 4th year. I want to shout out Speed Gaming for all of their help hosting the restream, everybody behind the scenes, making sure that everything can run up smoothly and things like that. Shout outs to the FF1 community as a whole. Thank you for everyone that tuned in for any of the matches today. Whether you were here from game 1 or only just joined us for game 3, I want to thank you for coming and supporting us here in this tournament. We really do appreciate people coming to watch. If you have any interest in this game whatsoever, feel free. You can hit us up. We can try to get you into the Discord. We're more than welcome to help. We're more than happy to welcome you into the community, help you out if you have any interest in running this game at all. Final Fantasy 1. I actually believe is a good, strong, nice, easy entryway into RPG speedruns, and actually speedruns in general as well. I feel that there. So, but yeah, always good to see. Thanks to everyone again. I think that'll do it for us here today, though. So, on behalf of Final Fantasy 1 community, on behalf of the tournament organizers and everything like that, thank you very much. We do still have a few more matches before we end this round of 16. That nothing on our schedule yet, though I believe our runners are still working that out between them there. But stick around, stay tuned to all the Speed Gaming channels. We'll be having the restreams on here, and we will continue to bring more Final Fantasy PSP any percent to you there. But thank you very much, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Have a good night, everyone.